What's going on, Rays fans? Rachel West here, and I'm joined by Mark Topkin. And Mark, we've made it to opening day, and now last year the Rays, they had a good season, 100 wins. Do you think it's reasonable to expect the same type of season this year, or maybe even better?
It may not be as many wins in the regular season, Rachel. 100's pretty rare, pretty hard to accomplish, especially in the American League East, and that competition, you could argue, is maybe thicker this year. But I do think the Rays are very confident and very certain that with the moves they've made, they are going to be a playoff team again. They are going to be competing for the World Series. They do expect to get deep into the postseason, and I'd be curious to see how it plays out, but I do think they have the potential and they have the parts to do that.
Talk about the parts. They did lose a couple of key pieces, Austin Meadows, Joey Wendell, but they're replacing them in a couple of young guys that they have a lot of confidence in.
They do, and you certainly would look most recently at the trade of Austin Meadows just a few days ago. Yes, they got a guy back that they like who's going to start at AAA, but the real key to that trade, I think, was opening a spot for Josh Lowe to play in the big leagues now. Top outfield prospect, one of the top in the game, a guy the Rays think has very, very high potential. So you look at that move. Taylor Walls basically takes the spot that Joey Wendell had. The pitching staff, a little bit of shuffling, but for the most part intact. But I think the other thing you have to kind of account for is there'll now be a full year of Wander Franco. And I don't think anyone knows what that's going to be. I mean, they wrote a whole giant story about that in our Tampa Bay Times preview section, that the Rays don't even know how good he can be, and certainly they all want to look forward to finding out how that is.
Nobody knows, but everyone's certainly excited about it. And something else that is pretty different this year as opposed to last Rays teams is we've got a full 5-man starting rotation going into the year, at least to start the year. So just tell us about the rotation that they've got set now, and I'm sure eventually they're going to be going to a lot of other guys too.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone should think this means the opener's dead or that they're not going to start using a 6-man or even a 7-man type of rotation. But to start the year, don't forget, shortened spring training. The reason spring training is normally 6 weeks is for the starting pitchers to get built up. So that was abbreviated. They're not at their normal length. They're not at their normal capabilities. Shane McClanahan starts the opener today. That's going to be really exciting. And then going forward, they feel pretty good where they are. Drew Rasmussen, Corey Kluber, kind of that been there, done that veteran they brought in. The guy has 2 Cy Youngs on the shelf. And then Luis Patino, and then Ryan Yarbrough. Shane Baz is going to start on the injured list. So they feel pretty good about their starting pitching. But I think if you want to be objective about it, that's probably the biggest question mark about this team going into this season is how are the starting pitching, especially the 3 young guys, McClanahan, Patino, and Rasmussen, how are they going to hold up, and what are they going to Rays be able to count on them doing?
All right, Mark, I want some predictions out of you now. Who's going to win the AL East, and I want who's coming in second, third, fourth, fifth.
Well, I thought the prediction was whether you were going to buy lunch, and I knew the answer was going to be no. I know a lot of people think the chic pick this year is the Blue Jays. I know our colleague John Romano picked them in our Tampa Bay Times preview section. I'm not sold on the Blue Jays totally. I'm going to go with the Rays. When you're around a team a lot, sometimes you kind of see their perspective on things a little more, and they have a lot of confidence in the team they have and the depth they have. They have a little flexibility if they have to make some moves. So I'm going to go with the Rays winning the East, the Blue Jays second. I'm not sold on the Yankees really at all. So I'm going to go Red Sox third, Yankees fourth, and believe it or not, really out on a limb here, Orioles fifth.
That's, I think, the most surprising pick of them all. All right, then one more for you, number of wins for the Rays.
So this has to be more than 1 and less than 162, huh?
They're hoping so.
94. Nice round number.
94. Sounds solid to me. 94 wins. Rays win in the division. Heard it here first, guys, so get mad at him come October if that doesn't happen, not the team. Well, we've got a ton of Rays coverage for you guys over at Sports by Tampa Bay Times on Twitter and tampabay.com, so make sure you're following along with us.